I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will move into our consensus agenda.
All right. I move we approve the vouchers for last month. Our accounts payable vouchers are $677,902.21. We had two payrolls, they total $506,072.45. We have a couple voids in there. We have a total expenditure of $1,183,477.16. Along with that, I move we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by Steve, second by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Any patrons' comments this evening? If not, we will move on to personnel.
All right, just a note, on the original agenda, I believe, we had the counselors, we're going to talk tonight about graduation requirements and just all of that. We moved that to April just because of the circumstances, and the fact is that we moved to Friday night. So moving on to personnel as mentioned, I'm just go ahead and recommend the approval of the spring sports coaches under ECA, along with the recommendation for Kim Riddle as a volunteer coach for high school tennis.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Kevin. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Under classified, I recommend the approval of the wage change for Steve Watkins, our school resource officer, and also approve the oh, that's right, because, yes, okay, yep, all right, I'll stop there.
Question, reason for the change in pay?
Just feeling as if that's probably more in line with maybe the people around us.
Okay.
So making sure that that's a fair wage.
I move we accept that approval for the wage change.
I'll second.
Okay. I'll give it to Steve this time.
That's fine.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
All right, I'd like to recommend the approval of Mason McIntyre as a temporary elementary administrative assistant. Just a caveat to that, I just, obviously, the timing of how everything worked there was just incredible. But in the end, today was his first day, just engaged with our kiddos, and just a familiar face is going to be a really good thing, and a real peace of mind for Christine and the secretaries, and obviously teachers-wise, to know somebody and fill the void, obviously, of Josh. So.
And that's going to be 3 days a week, or?
No, so it'll be, so a lot of that was dependent on just the letter from his previous employer, but that was all wrapped up on Thursday.
Okay.
And so today was the first day. Now he will be full-time, other than 1 week that he had planned going back to the DR for his final trip to the
Okay.
second mile.
Mhm.
And that, I believe, is the second week of April, if I'm not mistaken, but he's already communicated that with us.
Okay, great.
So it'll be every day, all day.
I move we approve Mason as administrative assistant at elementary.
Second.
Been moved by Steve, second by Wes. All in favor?
I will recuse myself.
401. On to other business.
All right, I'd like to recommend the approval of curriculum quote for the grades 5 through 12 Smeckens Education Solutions. The Smeckens playbook has been something that research has said is just a quality program, and so I just want to thank, I'll do that in my report as well, but thank Melissa for leading that, but then also the people that have been on that committee. It's been a tough go of it. Just there's been a lot of research done, a lot of information found, a lot of data from other schools that we just didn't feel comfortable with. So it's been a different year for that textbook adoption. But Smeckens, they're out of Warren, Indiana, right outside of Huntington. Just a really, really good program. So we're excited about that. So you didn't ask for all that stuff, but it's been a process.
I move we approve the Smeckens Education Solutions.
Second.
It's been moved by Ken, seconded by Kevin. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
The caveat to that was just the fact is that K through 4, we're still in the process of looking at that, so I didn't say that. I'd like to recommend, we haven't done this in a long time since COVID, but getting back to the possibility of our 5th graders being able to go to Camp Amigo. That's been a long-time tradition, been so nice of them to come to us and be at the Potawatomi Wildlife Park for the last few years, but they asked if we could possibly go back for that experience, and we felt like it was a great time to do that.
I move we approve that trip. It was always fun when I got to go on it with my kids.
Second.
I heard Ken. So moved by Steve, seconded by Ken.
You
Any
have to talk
discussion?
louder, Wes.
All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Next one, I'd like to recommend the approval of the football fundraiser. I sent those to you, obviously new coach and just new thoughts on maybe what might be best for the program. So that is a little bit out of order, but obviously they're aware of when that needs to be placed with the high school, but they wanted to get a jump start on that, and they have done that.
Move we approve.
Second?
The moved by Steve, seconded by Kevin. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to recommend the approval of old or surplus items for the FFA auction, and that list was attached in the board packet.
Second.
It's been moved by Kevin, seconded by Wes. Any discussion?
Jerry, when is that auction? Do you know?
12th through the 16th.
There you go.
Ken seconded.
Ken,
that.
sorry, Ken. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
Next, I'd like to make a recommendation for the elementary roof replacement by rejecting base bid B and approving the responsive and responsible bid A. And that bid was for Morrison Son Roofing.
Move we approve that project as presented.
I'd like to second that.
You'd like to, or you going
I will second that.
Okay.
It's been
I'm
moved.
seconding that.
It is moved by Steve, seconded by Wes. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
And last but not least, I'd like to recommend the first reading of the special update for policies June of 2024. Those are at your seat if you'd like to take a extra gander at that, or if there's any other questions. Just kind of a follow-up. Terry will be joining Ryan Snoddy and I as we work through those, so hopefully that'll be a little bit smoother process than it has been the last few months as we work through that. So we're going to try to make that a little bit more efficient.
Second.
It's been moved by Kevin, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. On to superintendent report.
All right, continuous improvement, just a lot of things happening. I'm not gonna regurgitate everything that I wrote, but a lot of things happening over Christmas break. We made some updates to our elementary cafeteria floor. There were definitely some errors and some places where didn't get great coverage, and so they actually came back and redid that. It looks really good now, and reached out to Floor Care Concepts and thanked them for their work. Over spring break, several things are going on. We're going to replace all the window blinds in the corporation, so that's elementary and high school. If you've looked from the outside at the window blinds where the sun has beat on them, it looks really, really shabby. And so we're going to replace all of them. We will also be adding railing to the existing elementary gym bleachers. So we're going to make some adjustments there with that and widen those aisles a little bit with wood, and because of the way they're structured, you're not going to see much difference other than they're going to have rails. That'll be a good thing for our patrons. We'll get a new fire suppression system at the high school. They were in this week a couple times to make sure that they're locating all of the switches and everything that they need to replace, so that'll be happening during spring break. And then last but not least, we will be adding, there's one more. Maybe not. Maybe that's all. Bleachers, fire suppression system. So that's it.
Well, after attending the sectional at
North Judson, I'm really proud of the facilities that we have,
Yeah,
relatively speaking,
yeah,
if you catch my drift.
yeah.
I mean, it'll be great tomorrow to host
It
some
will.
visiting schools,
It will.
because we always get positive comments
Yeah,
about everything.
it will. Yeah, I like the Jumbotron though.
those ones.
Oh,
Tom does not.
How much did that
I didn't
cost?
like that.
I like it.
You just don't like the
When are we
price.
getting ours, Tom?
You wouldn't.
How much did they spend on that? What did you hear? I heard two different numbers.
I heard 2 to 250.
That's impossible when you look at what's there. I just,
So, but anyways,
man.
shared leadership. There's no doubt the last 2 weeks we just experienced cannot be successful unless there are a lot of people who join together to make it as good as possible. I just want to say I'm thankful for our teaching staff, administrative staff, supportive staff, counseling staff, and community supports. Jordan Akes, Kenneth Cook, Aaron Talbert, Zach Cook. Dustin's Place was on hand to help counsel our kiddos and staff members if needed, and so many others who have reached out and showered our students and community in prayer in the loss of Mr. Van Houten. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts on that. I do want to remind people that on April 5th, we'll be having the Comedy for a Cause starring David Dean. He's a hilarious guy, an even better guy behind the scenes. He's just a really good dude, but that will continue to rally supports for our Triton Student Life Foundation, which continues to fund projects and just make the student life at Triton School Corporation better. So those tickets are on sale at the clerk's office, at the high school building, the administration building, so if you need those. Also, we've made posts and you can order those on using the QR code as well.
I believe too, they'll have childcare.
They will.
For the evening.
They will. Yep, childcare will be for all children other than infants. Yeah, and so if you want to come with a date or come on a date, you can send your kids over. But I will tell you, it's also clean comedy, so it's may not be fun for little tykes, but I think older kiddos would enjoy it. I do want to thank Chad Stepp, the Bourbon, Tippecanoe, and Etna Green Fire Department, and the Bourbon Police Department that all helped make our Triton Varsity Boys Basketball Team Sectional Championship just that much sweeter as they made an escort. Thank you to our community for your support of our students from our town department, doing the crosswalks in the morning, helping salt our parking lots, working with us to create a safer walkway to and from school. If you're not aware, we will be getting a sidewalk down Schaefer Road from Main Street all the way to campus. So that'll be, it's an NDOT project, so that is scheduled to begin this summer, so that'll be a great thing. But just, yes, yep, yeah, that'll go along the kind of the old gym property, and yep. And so just, and they of course escorted the kids Saturday night. Just, it's awesome to have people that support that. Accountability, I want to thank to our students and teachers and family for their patience as we work through the first digital learning day that we've done in a long time. We have reviewed this day with our teachers and would be open to feedback from homes. The feedback that we have received early on was the early concern of what it was going to be like. But after it was implemented, many shared that the workload was reasonable, the time frame to complete the work was appreciated, and the concern of taking their whole weekend was alleviated when their student took responsibility and completed the assigned tasks in a timely manner. I'll be the first to let families know, and I said this to our staff, that we do want to give more time in advance of one of those again. This time we honestly, in between training our teachers, making sure they were prepared, and then conversations that were had, we just didn't give them enough time. It ended up being, 4 or 5 days, but still would love to give them 2 weeks to just make sure they're prepared for that and can mentally prepare themselves for that. So I'll take full ownership of that. Triton second and third graders took iRead this week, and our juniors took SAT. Both assessments show student growth, areas for improvement, and have high stakes attached to them, so we continue to work to prepare our students for these benchmarks, and we'll continue to remediate as needed to maintain a high expectation within our corporation. Last but not least, for alignment, I appreciate Melissa and the job she's done. I already kind of mentioned that with the textbook adoption. It's just been a long, drawn-out process, and just making sure that we're getting the right fit for continued growth in such an important topic of reading language arts. So that's all I have. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any patrons' comments again? All right, we'll move on to building report.
I'll go ahead and start with the elementary, if you're all right with that, Mr. McCann. Christine reports out, our students had a great time bowling in 4th through 6th grade at the bowling alley in Warsaw. We've had a lot of spirit days leading up to what we hope to be a fun pep session next Thursday before we leave for spring break. Our 2nd and 3rd graders had their iRead, did an amazing job during iRead administration. All parents have been notified of the results as we completed our 3rd grading period. We had strong participation in the Saturday Digital Learning Day. Thanks to our parents for their cooperation and support. I'd like to thank everyone who has come alongside us and helped support us, show sympathy as we experience the loss of our colleague, Mr. Van Houten. We are still working on adopting reading curriculum, as mentioned. Today, Mr. Mason McIntyre came on board. We are appreciative of his help as we finish our school year. We have a lot of special events coming up, such as recognitions and study trips, as we finish the last quarter strong.
All right, for the junior, senior high school, we had a freshman orientation that was held on February 13th and had an excellent turnout for that. And at that orientation, parents were notified of new graduation requirements that are going to start with this current 8th grade class. So a lot of new information and probably more information to come. Counselors, they will be, and Mr. Riffle mentioned this, they're going to join us at our April board meeting. I wanted them to be able to share with you some of that information that we've shared with parents and just what those changes are going to look like. And so they'll be joining us in April. Also with the counselors, now that we have the information that we do have, we can move forward with scheduling our 8th graders. We kind of put the pause on that. But we're ready to meet with 8th graders and get them ready for high school. So that'll be happening this next week. SAT testing took place this week, or on March 5th. Want to recognize our junior high jazz band. They received a gold rating at their ISMA contest. Rhythmic Revolution, they competed at the Jazz Festival and received a gold rating. Darren King and Dolan Berkey-Pyle, they earned gold ratings with distinction at the state solo and ensemble contest earlier this month. Just want to mention yearbook, last year's yearbook, not the product that we want to put out. I can say that and be okay with it. We've put a lot of work into that, Mr. Evelyn and his yearbook crew, as well as Jostens, and we've done I would say they've done a lot of work to create an insert, and so if somebody had purchased a yearbook last year, they're able to come in now and get that insert, and we're happy to put that in the yearbook for them. They can do that themselves. It's not difficult, but we think that was the best way to remedy the issues we had with last year's yearbook. So I had sent out a letter a few weeks ago just to update parents, especially high school parents, about just some of the changes we're going to have with some of our banquets. We have a CTE banquet, and that's going to be on Wednesday, April 16th at 6:30, and that's just a night for us to recognize those individuals that are in CTE programs, as well as their instructors or their internship hosts. So there really is no change with that one. Where we're going to see some of the changes is we're going to have an academic awards banquet. Typically we have that during the day, and then we also have some awards that are handed out along with scholarships another night. But what we're going to do is we're going to have an academic awards night only, and that's going to be held on Wednesday, April 23rd at 6 o'clock, so that we will no longer have an academic awards program during the school day. And hopefully that allows more parents to be able to come and see their child be recognized. And then we are going to have a scholarship recognition, and we wanted to really emphasize those scholarships, and we felt like in order to do that and give it the justice that it deserved, is we needed to make sure that that was the one thing we highlighted. So we will have a scholarship banquet on Wednesday, May 14th at 6 o'clock, and invitations will go out to all of those programs if they have a child being recognized. I want to give a shout out for Rory Heckman. She was invited and participated in the Molecular Medicine and Action Symposium earlier this month. I think she was one of 50 students invited in the state of Indiana. That's a pretty awesome recognition. And then Caden Large, we found this out just this week. He's been named one of 40 Indiana Academic All-Stars. And he and his most influential educator, which is Ms. Orlowski, they're going to be recognized down in Indianapolis on April 24th. So a lot of great things going on there. And hard to believe, but report cards went out today for the third 9 weeks. So the year is flying by. That's all I've got, unless you guys have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So.
If there's no other business, we will move to adjourn at 7:20.